Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really crucial strategy for any business out there. How to make your emails not just get seen, but actually get welcomed and acted on. We're talking all about segmentation.
So let's kick things off with a question that, every single marketer or business owner thinks about the second they hit that send button. In a world where every inbox is just overflowing, how in the world do you make sure your message actually stands out?
Because here's the hard truth. The days of sending one giant mass email to everybody on your list, well, they're over. Today's B2B buyers expect, and frankly, demand, messages that are tailored specifically to them. Anything else is just noise. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by really digging into the inbox problem. Then we'll show how segmentation is the solution. From there, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to segment by who people are and what they do, before checking out some pro-level tactics and, of course, how to make it all actually work.
All right, first things first, let's really get our heads around why those old-school one-size-fits-all email blasts don't just fail to work anymore, but can actually be damaging to your business.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. Irrelevant messages are the #1 cause of unsubscribes. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not just about being ignored. You are actively pushing people away. You're literally shrinking your own audience and losing potential customers every time you send the wrong message. So if just shouting into the void is the problem, what's the fix? Well, it's this really powerful but actually pretty simple idea called segmentation. And it is all about the magic of personalization.
So what is it, really? Put simply, segmentation is all about stopping the yelling at a crowd and actually starting a one-on-one conversation. It's the art of sending the right message to the right person at exactly the right time. That's the whole goal. And why should you care? Well, look at this. It's not just about making people feel special. We're talking about real, tangible business results here. Higher open and click rates, warmer leads for your sales team, fewer people hitting unsubscribe. It even helps your emails actually get delivered in the first place. This isn't a nice-to-have. It's an absolute must-have. So, how do we actually start doing this? Well, it all begins with the most basic, most fundamental layer. Simply understanding who it is you're talking to. And that who really breaks down into two main buckets you see here. On one side, you've got firmographic data. That's all about the company. What industry are they in? How big are they? Where are they? Then on the other side, you've got demographic data, which is all about the person themselves. What's their job title? What department do they work in? Getting a handle on both lets you get incredibly specific with your message. Okay, now we're going to level up. We're moving beyond just who they are and into what they're actually doing. This is where things get really interesting, because we can start reacting to the signals people are sending us with their actions. So the big question then is, how do you know what your audience really wants? Well, you don't have to be a mind reader. You just have to pay attention. Their actions, their digital body language tells you pretty much everything you need to know. And I mean, just look at all these clues they're leaving for you. Every email they click, every page they visit, every white paper they download, that's a signal. If someone keeps coming back to your pricing page, they're basically raising their hand and saying, hey, I'm interested. This is the kind of data that lets you send automated follow-ups that feel personal and perfectly timed. And what you're really doing with all those clues is figuring out where someone is on their buying journey. You see it right here, right? Someone in the awareness stage is just starting to identify their problem. They need a helpful blog post, not a hard sell. But as they move down to consideration and decision, that's when you can start offering case studies and demos. It's about being a helpful guide, not a pushy salesperson. And here's something a lot of people forget. You can't treat all your subscribers the same way. This chart is pretty typical. You've got a small group of super engaged fans, a bunch in the middle, and yeah, a big chunk who might be inactive. You need totally different strategies for each group. Your super fans, they're ready for your best stuff. The inactive folks, you might need a special re-engagement campaign just to try and win them back. Okay, so once you've got the hang of segmenting by who people are and what they do, you can start to bring in some really advanced tactics. Think of these as the power-ups for your entire email strategy. Technographic data is super cool. It lets you target people based on the specific technology they're already using. Imagine sending an email about how your product integrates with their CRM. Then there's account-based marketing, or ABM, which is like treating your most important target company as a market of one. And finally, you've got predictive AI, which is basically like having a crystal ball. It tells you who's most likely to buy so you can focus your energy where it will have the biggest impact. All right, this all sounds great, right? But a killer strategy is completely useless if you can't actually put it into practice.
So, how do you build this whole system without it becoming a total mess?
Well, the good news is the process is pretty logical. Step 1, it all starts with good, clean data. You know what they say, garbage in, garbage out. Step 2, you use automation to manage everything and keep your segments updated in real time. And step 3, and this is so crucial, you have to regularly clean your lists. This is not a set it and forget it kind of deal.
And how do you know if all this work is actually paying off? You look at your report card. These key metrics right here. A high open rate tells you your subject lines are hitting the mark with your segments. A high click-through rate tells you your content is relevant. And a rising conversion rate, that's the bottom line. That's the ultimate proof that you're connecting with the right people in the right way.
So at the end of the day, what we've really been talking about here isn't just some clever email tactic. It's a fundamental strategic shift. It's about transforming your email from a blunt instrument into an intelligent, personalized engine for growing your entire business.
So I want to leave you with one final question to think about. The next time you're about to send an email campaign, just stop for a second and ask yourself, am I just broadcasting to a list, or am I actually connecting with a person? Because honestly, the answer to that question changes everything. Thanks for watching The Explainer.